you have a top performer and they've left you. The worst part about it is you're not certain why. And number two, they're gonna be your direct competitor, meaning they know your industry, they know exactly what you're doing, and they're really good, and they're gonna go out and compete directly against you. That is the problem, and most leaders simply don't know why it's happening to them. So the reality is you've cast vision to get this star performer and you've got them into your company, and then they start rocking, like they start really performing, they start really delivering for the business. And as an entrepreneur, you're busy, you're out there doing your stuff and you're trying to get more star performers. And what happens is you fail to actually be in relationship with your star performer, and you fail to continue to cast the vision, because you cast the vision to get them into the business. But once they're in and they understand and then they're performing, you've got to continue to drive the results that you want from them and make sure that they feel aligned in the vision for the company. So the challenge is most people fail to continue that relational capital. Most people fail to continue to cast vision. And so you have a star performer who all of a sudden has performance drop. Or worse, they decide to leave you and then go out and compete against you. So the solution, we're gonna go through that right now. Okay, so most businesses, the assets inside the businesses are the people who come in and out of the door every day, because they're the ones that are serving your customers. They're the ones that are out there actually getting new customers. And so the reality as an entrepreneur, what happens is you get busy, your focus goes awry. You're like, I already hired him, I already trained him, I already got him up to speed. Why do I need to spend more time with him? But that's a mistake. In fact, what you wanna do is run an effective one-on-one with your top performers as well as your bottom performers. In fact, your top performers, you should give more love to them because they're the ones that are helping you drive revenue or serve your customers. And so in that one-on-one, what you wanna focus on, number one, relationally, how are they doing? What's going on in their world? What's happening for them in their personal world as well as their professional world? And then number two, you're trying to help them get more, meaning if I'm closing 10 deals every month on average and I'm a star performer, guess what? I want 20. And so as the entrepreneur, your job is to pull that star performer and actually help them get to their goals, accomplish the thing that matters to them. Worse, maybe your star performer has a performance issue right now, and so you have to refocus them, figure out what's gone awry, and put them back on plan, meaning helping them re-identify with the value of actually working with you, and also what the outcome is. Like, why are they here? What do they want to accomplish for themselves? What are the things that are going to keep them in your world? And so the very first thing you need to do is run effective one-on-ones with your star performers, and really, everybody on your team, everybody that direct reports to you needs to have a weekly one-on-one where you're giving them love, showing them the vision, making sure they're aligned, and continuing to perform. Number two, being clear about the metrics, the outcome that you're trying to get from this particular person and why you're there with him. Having all the metrics on point and accessible and clear so they have a scorecard, you know what their performance are, and you're helping them figure out how to perform at the highest level. Number three, making sure the environment is conducive for them to learn and grow. Making sure they have the resources that they need, making sure they have the understandings that they need, and anything within their particular job that they may need support with, that's your job. Your job as a leader is to serve them so that they can hit their goals. And so these are the three things that most entrepreneurs fail to do, and this is the reason they lose star performers. Yesterday I focused on a one-on-one with one of my direct reports who runs a hotel business, and it was really interesting because I always start with an agenda, like, hey, what are the most important things for us to talk through? And he starts listing off things, I start adding things to the list. We had financials to review, we had a construction project to go over, we had operational stuff. I mean, it was just, literally there was 9 things for us to discuss, and we only had an hour. And I was looking at him and I could feel something was off. I was like, hey man, what's happening with you like right now? Something's going on. And he had this massive drama in his personal life with his family. So it was his sister and his dad were fighting, and it was like this thing, and like lawsuits and everything was going on. And so at that moment, I knew my job was to serve him in this thing that had nothing to do with our businesses, this thing that had nothing to do with the list of 9 things that we needed to discuss, because he needed to clear that out of his mind, unload. He needed somebody to talk to and get advice from, so that he could then focus on what we needed to do together as a company. And so it was really interesting because sometimes people think, oh, I need to lead and I need to hold people accountable and blah, blah, blah. But the reality is leadership is helping somebody with whatever's going on in their life and helping them focus on the most important things. So once we got the personal stuff out of the way, we could then bust through our 9 things. And at the end, I had to help them prioritize. Like, hey, what were the things that you got from our conversation? And I think that's a really amazing thing for a leader to do. Like, you go through your list and then at the end have the direct report actually verbalize back to you what they got and what they're going to focus on. Because if they can tell you their next steps, if they can document their next steps, that's how you know you actually got through to them, and that's how you actually create change and help people win for you in your own business. Okay, so you were smart enough to actually attract top talent, and then you failed to actually keep them, which is a big deal because turnover is the enemy of scale. So the point of this entire video is, number 1, have one-on-ones. Focus on the relationship. Know exactly what's going on in their personal world. Then keep them tied to the vision of your company. Know exactly what's going on in their head and track performance. Know how they're performing. Know what they want, their goals. Make sure they're aligned with yours, and you keep in massive alignment with your top performers, and you won't lose them. Now, if you want more content just like this, subscribe, click below, and follow us on this channel.